I've heard Maharaj say this many, many times. Every time he would get prepared to give initiation to disciples in Singapore, at the end of going through all the list, he would just say one thing to me when I asked him for directions on how his disciples should move forward. And the first thing he would say is that, Devaki, one thing I would request you to do is that all my disciples should treat my God brothers and all exalted Vaishnavas as highly as they want to treat me. That would give me the most pleasure. And that is the foundation of our movement. That all the spiritual masters whom we surrender to, we surrender because we have surrendered to obey them. As Maharaj so aptly put in the lecture today, the important thing is for us to understand that we are always subordinate to the wishes and the instructions and the desires of the spiritual master. Every step and every action we take, we should only ask one simple question. If I were to speak this way, will my spiritual master be happy? If I were to act this way, will my spiritual master be happy? If I raised my voice at a Vaishnava, will my spiritual master be happy? If I chastise someone out of false ego, will my spiritual master be happy? If I exploited someone in this world, will my spiritual master be happy? If I made my spiritual master's Vyas Puja bigger than some other spiritual master's Vyas Puja, will my spiritual master be happy? These are the questions that our spiritual masters, every one of our spiritual masters, want us to ask. And whether our spiritual masters are physically present before us, or in this case, Maharaj is now in Ujjain, and we are in one sense physically separate from him, it doesn't matter. What really matters is how dedicated are we to the Vani of the spiritual master. That is the key. We should, if we act in such a way, if every devotee assumes responsibility for their actions in that way, our society will be so dynamic that we can preach across all the three worlds. That is why His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Maharaj, especially this year and last year, in his position as the GBC chairman, has traveled the world and he has snuffed out the fires of diversity in the sense of separation, in the sense of criticisms, and he has tried very hard to bring the society together. And that is what we, who are serving Maharaj, should also try to do. If you notice, half of Maharaj's lecture was on Bhagavatam, and then the other half of Maharaj's lecture was on the glorification of his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And this is a leaf that we can take from the pages of our spiritual masters. That the real unity of our society is in the diversity of who we are and where we come from, but it is based on the unity that we have towards serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. And once we put Srila Prabhupada in the center, then every one of our spiritual masters become happy. This is a constant challenge, Prabhus and Matajis, because every day Kali is just waiting to see where he can divide us. He's just waiting to see where we can criticize someone and find fault with someone. But in all the dealings that I have seen in my personal experience with Maharaj, I have seen that wherever he has gone, he has healed wounds. He has never opened them. And wherever there has been strife, he has strived to bring unity, even amidst diversity. So it is a very important point that today we glorify him. But glorification just doesn't end with praise. Genuine glorification begins on the strength of our actions. That actually pleases our spiritual masters more. When our spiritual masters hear less from us and see us more in action, I think they become more pleased. And that's what we should do. Every single one of us. Let us work together to honor a pure devotee like His Holiness Bhakti Swarup Maharaj. Despite all the difficulties and the pressures on him, as Bhadranarayan Maharaj said, in whatever humble times and fortune I have had to deal with him, I have seen him completely unfazed, completely surrendered, completely peaceful, and as you can see even in the video, completely blissful. Completely blissful. Even though he's probably had a long day, he's had so many people to meet. And the beauty of Maharaj, I found, is despite having thousands of disciples around the world, if you introduce one new personality to him, he can put aside all engagements just to sit with that personality and preach to him or her about Krishna consciousness. I've also found Maharaj amazingly accessible. All you have to do is send him an email, and no matter where he is and how busy he is, within the next 1-2 days, he will reply and he will tell you what time we should talk, and where we should talk, and how we should talk. It is an incredible quality for someone whose plate is completely full, in fact overflowing. So this is the beauty. A pure Vaishnava has that gift to be intensely personal, such that each person who comes before Maharaj, and I know this is your personal experience, each one of us who comes before a pure devotee always feels that pure devotee is treating me specially. Isn't it? We always feel that. This is the magnanimity of the pure devotee. Many of Prabhupada's disciples said that. I've heard them say that when Prabhupada spoke, I felt that that instruction was only for me, not for you. It's only for me. And that's the same way we feel when Maharaj speaks. When I was hearing his lecture, I was thinking, Maharaj, you are speaking only to me actually. Because everything you're saying is exactly the struggles that I am having. So on this